Hey, what's up, y'all? What's poppin'? What's cracking? It's Diddy about to react to this impressive vid. It's titled Royce Reed exposes Dwight Howard and says he wore a dress at Diddy's party. What? And Royce fears for her life. I remember her. She was on, not Love and Hip Hop, what was the other one? Basketball Wives. And, she was attached to Dwight Howard. I don't know if they were married or if they just had kids together, but yeah, this is definitely his past partner. So the fact that she's coming out and exposing him is wild. But yeah, let's hear what she has to say. Let's watch.
Hello everybody, welcome to the impressive channel. The Basketball Wives reality star Royce Reed exposed the NBA player Dwight Howard, and she revealed some very disturbing details. Now, she started exposing Dwight off of the heels of his engagement to the rapper Amy Lucien, and I thought the timing was a little weird because I was like, wait a minute, why is Royce now trying to expose Dwight? But apparently she has been silenced for years and she is ready to tell her story. And I think Amy should pay close attention because some of the things that she said was highly disturbing. Now, Royce started off her story talking about how she and Dwight met. They met in 2004 at a movie theater, and from there their relationship progressed. Royce also used to dance for the Orlando Magic team, which was the same team that Dwight played for. And she found out that he was cheating on her. Surprise, surprise.
I auditioned for the team. I make it. Yay me. And after a couple weeks, there's a couple girls that are just treating me weird, and I didn't know why. Well, I ended up finding out that he had cheated on me with one of my teammates who used to live in Texas, but now was coming to the Heat, and he had been trying to get both of us to not say anything.
After this, Royce did say that she broke up with Dwight, but he begged to get her back, and she went back with him, and she ended up getting pregnant. And she did not want to be pregnant because she felt like it would affect her career, but she decided to keep their son. However, Dwight was not happy at all, and he put her through it when she was pregnant.
And so now it's time to tell Superman that he is having a baby. And as you can imagine, that message was not received well. And I was met with a bunch
Girl, why is this camera so jerky? What's going on?
Of, oh, you're tarnishing my image. You're ruining my career. I'm a Christian. What I look like having a baby. And I'm trying to put the cross on the NBA logo. How could you do this to me?
When you've been cheating and...
You're a gold digger. Oh, yeah, I was hit with everything, y'all. Like I didn't have a career. But because none of those changed my mind, he then hits me with, and I have a girlfriend.
Ooh.
Okay. I've always had a girlfriend. Oh, wow. Okay. So now I'm realizing, y'all, that not only is this person a completely different person than I thought he was, but I've realized that he is a master manipulator and he will do any and everything to get exactly what he wants. I didn't fall for it. And because I didn't fall for it, I was then met with hell on earth. When I was about 4 or 5 months pregnant, I was asked his manager, his cousin, himself from my town.
Who's the ant crawling on me? Jesus Christ.
And in this meeting is his manager, his cousin, himself. I am then offered money. I'm asking what the money is for. I'm thinking that maybe it's to help me with my pregnancy. No. I was asked to move away and say that this baby was not his.
Oh.
Twice. I declined. They got angry. And every time I did anything, I was met with false accusations. I was threatened, but I still was getting threatened. I was still receiving anonymous messages on MySpace and Twitter, and I didn't know what to do.
Now, after Royce gave birth to their son, Royce said that the son would sometimes spend time with Dwight, and she claimed that Dwight and his girlfriend at the time were purposely not feeding her son the right food, and he would get sick every time he would come back home to her.
The reason my child was returned super colicky, sick, throwing up, all these things, only to then be told it was because they were purposely giving him food that was opposite of what he was eating. I would pack a bag and I would have it listed of what he should be eating for lunch, for dinner, all these things. And he was intentionally given the opposite. So when he would be returned home, he was sick, colicky, throwing up, having to go to the hospital. Damn. When I confronted the situation,
that's evil.
I was told that that was a lie and that it was only done because they thought I was trying to micromanage, and they decided that they were just going to give him whatever they wanted to give him.
That is pretty crazy, but
That
it
is
gets
wild.
even crazier. Now, Royce did end up going back to Dwight in 2009 after he broke up with his girlfriend. Dwight actually wanted her back. Once
After he was making the baby sick?
he found out that she was dating somebody else, he wanted to get her back, and she decided to go back to him because she wanted to keep their family together, which is understandable, but it was a big mistake because he put her through it once again.
I was forced to do things sexually that I did not necessarily agree with. But because I wasn't that experienced, I thought it was normal. And
Like
I
what?
never complained about it. That's when things started turning verbally and physically and also mentally abusive. I was told that I was stupid. I was told that nobody would ever want me.
That emoji was unnecessary, impressive. Why you use that particular one?
I was told that everybody here loved him and hated me. And how does it feel to have my hometown turn on me? I better not ever leave him. If I left him ever, he would make my life a living hell. And he did. There were days that I would be at his home and I was threatened with a knife, and then it was laughed off. But when the knife was in my face, it was, I could kill you right now and get away with it.
Impressive. You have to relax. Or I don't think this is Royce's doing. I don't think she added these sound effects and emojis. Impressive.
Because I could claim self-defense and they would believe me and not you, because who are you?
Royce also details some other moments where Dwight was physically aggressive to her.
He grabs my hair and he forces me to the floor. And he's like, who the are you talking to? He throws me into the entertainment center. When he threw me into the entertainment center, it broke the door. So I was flung into the one on the right. And our son, who was grabbing him and like thinking he was playing, he then flung him into the other door. I do not think that was intentional. I don't think he knew his own strength, but that's what he did.
Listening to this is wild. Dwight is crazy. He's crazy. Now, Royce said she wanted to leave him when he forced her to have relations with him.
The day that I really wanted to leave was a day where I did not want to have relations with him. And he then forced me to give him fellatio.
Now, the most disturbing thing about this story is what happened to their son. Now, Royce claims that Dwight had a nanny who was very sketchy and untrustworthy, and she suspected that this nanny did something to the son when he was very little. And it later on came out that this nanny was harming children, and Royce claims that Dwight covered it up and paid her off. And this is just really sad because the nanny should have been reported to the police. But Royce did say that Dwight and his family do have a history of covering things up and kind of using religion to justify brushing things under the rug, which is not biblical at all. If somebody does something wrong, you're definitely supposed to speak up about it.
Tell him Team Jesus.
Dwight didn't do that. And honestly, I believe Dwight was hiding something. I think there's more to this than just him.
I mean, yeah, there's been allegations about him for many years now. If you know, you know.
Covering up with the nanny.
And wasn't he like, there was like a case against him or something, or someone came out and said, a guy said that he forced him to do something with him? It was something like that.
Did like
not so long ago.
I'm not gonna say what I suspect, but I just feel like he's hiding his tracks in something. It's either that or he didn't want to lose custody and he didn't want to be seen as an unfit parent. But Royce was the one who got the backlash in all of this. When it came to her parenting, she got the backlash because some years ago her son got in trouble for having an inappropriate interaction with another child, and she was actually arrested for child neglect. So she was seen as the unfit parent in all of this, but the son learned that behavior from somewhere, and obviously he was exposed to some things under Dwight's roof. And Dwight had a lot of things going on in his home, a lot of freaky things. Royce even talked about some of the drug-filled parties that he had, and his son was there. And she even experienced one of these parties during quarantine because Dwight reconciled with her and invited her over. And this was around the time when he lost one of his baby mamas named Melissa Rios. She died in 2020, so he was feeling vulnerable and he tried to reconcile with Royce. Royce did say that she stayed at his house a couple of days with her son, and she witnessed this wild drug-filled party that he had, and she even alleged that he was acting a fool at one of those Diddy parties.
He knows that the real shit about him is coming out. Ask him about Ray Edwards and their parties. Ask him about the red dress that he wore during a Diddy party. I know too much, and the reason I'm talking now is because if something happens to me, y'all know why. This is the person who has had me followed before. And I don't know if I'm going to get through 2025.
Damn.
I'm not going to take myself out, but somebody else might. And I mean that. As dramatic as it may seem, I mean that. There's a lot of shit that has gone on. I can even name the name Zachary Timms. There's a lot of shit that goes on that's hidden.
Now, I will say I don't want Royce speaking that negativity over her life.
Exactly. You shouldn't speak that into existence.
But I do understand that she is fearful, so she feels the need to speak out now. And I think it's interesting that she mentioned the name Zachary Timms, because Zachary Timms was a pastor who passed away from a drug overdose.
Oh.
So I do wonder what Dwight's affiliation is with him and why she brought that up. That's very interesting. I don't know. Even though all of this is alleged, it does make me wonder. You know, Dwight has been caught up in some stuff. I do remember a while back, he was actually sued
Sorry, I saw that one ad and now I'm like, what up?
by a man named Stephen Harper, I believe. Stephen Harper. He invited Stephen to his home to have relations with him. And Dwight ambushed him by inviting another man in the room dressed as a woman wearing a wig and kitten heels. And Stephen was horrified. He did not expect this. He did not want this. And unfortunately, he was kind of pressured into doing some things, and it was a very traumatizing experience for him. And he felt too intimidated to speak up. And also, there was another person named Mason who claims that Dwight would attend some freak-off parties, and he preyed on him and tried to threaten and intimidate him into signing an NDA, which is what he did with Royce. You know, he pressured Royce to sign an NDA too. And the NDA did expire, which is why she is speaking out now. Some people say she's speaking out because she's bitter that he's newly engaged. But Royce says that there has been some things happening behind the scenes that she is tired of, and she's ready to expose everything. And boy, oh boy, did she expose a lot.
I did start paying attention to certain things. I did start paying attention to certain traits. I did start paying attention to what he was telling me versus what was being done. So
That's all kind of slow.
His sister and him coming on my live yesterday and commenting, and I'm so happy I didn't see it because I was just so into speaking. I'm so happy I didn't see it because had I probably would have said a lot more, such as their older brother molesting them. Okay? I'm just going to put it out there. And y'all might be like, oh my God, did she just say that? Yes, the fuck I said it. Because the same thing happened to my son for 5 years and nobody did
5 years?
Okay? So when you're dealing with a family who has had sexual assault and molestation in their family and they hid it, they went to church. Heal my son. Okay? And it was a half brother, so it wasn't the mother's son, it was the father's older son. The only time that brother went to jail was when he molested his own daughter. And she told. So for 5.5 fucking years, my child was molested. And I knew it. I threatened the nanny. Well, let me not say threatened because like I said before, I promised her if I found out that she was doing something to my child, we're going to have a problem. When I found that out, what happened? I get ghosted, y'all. I now know nothing about what is going on in that house. And that's where I ended video 3. My child continued to come home. As he got older, he started stating certain things. Mind you, I am now in court because I'm refusing to let my child go over to his father's house. Wouldn't you as a mother if you know that your child is being touched. After I made that threat, I was told very little about what was going on in the house. When I would call to check on my child, nobody would answer. My child is still being dropped off at home. And as I'm giving him baths, he's playing with himself. But in a way that's not like normal, because I asked the doctor about it and I'm like, is it normal for them to do this, do that? And she's like, absolutely not. She's like, you need to start writing things down in a journal. Do I need to go get my journal? We now go to court because I'm denying visitation. We go to court and I got all this proof. I got stacks of paper and I can't really say too much because why? He got our case sealed. So in court, when I make the comment about my child is being molested, how dare you say that? This is Judge Timothy Shea. I will say his name. Judge Timothy Shea. Okay? This man told me, how dare you make that accusation about Mr. Howard? How dare you do this? And if I ever hear you say anything like this again, I'm going to, just change custody. I'm going to give custody to Mr. Howard 100%. What?
What? Nah.
It's in the docket that I got my ass up and I cussed him out and I said, F you. I turned and I said to his attorney, which was Man Downs, and I said, F you. And I started walking out the courtroom. I swore that was the day that I would get my first mugshot. I did. Because at this point, this is about my child. I don't give a fuck what none of y'all got to say. Y'all can sit here and call me a bitter baby mama. You know what? Maybe I am. Maybe the fuck I am because of what my child went through. And people sat there and just let him run with this narrative. And y'all believed it. This man is evil. This man put his hands on me. This man threatened me with a knife. This man literally said he could kick me right now. And nobody would say anything.
Wait, she said it went on for 5.5 years. So did she find out after it had already been 5.5 years? Or is she saying for 5.5 years she'd been trying to fight it, but he still was going over there and it was happening? I have so many questions, but this is really disturbing.
Because he could claim self-defense, and because everybody loves him and hates me, he get away with it. These are the type of people that y'all are defending. How quick we forget about what just happened. And just because, it came out that the case was dropped because he admitted it was consensual, what the do you think my child has been seeing? And being told that it was okay. We're not going to sit here and now make it seem like I'm a horrible mom and like I didn't raise him right when we grew up talking about the No No Square song. Let's also talk about my child going to Georgia for a month and then getting him kicked out of homeschool because they refused to let him do his work. They sent him to church, was trying to have a priest tell him to say none of this happened to him. Literally was trying to get in his head and say, your mama made this up.
What?
Let's talk about how even when the nanny was fired and why she was fired. She was fired because she touched another child. Do we know where that nanny is? He does. Will he tell anybody? No. She's never said shit. Nobody knows where the fuck she is. Why? Because in my opinion, I believe that she was paid to leave. Just like I was offered, along with some of the other mothers were offered money to say that our child was not his. So even though there's 5, is there 5? All these years I have missed out on any type of career that I've tried to have. Not because I wasn't trying to have a career, but because I couldn't get a job, because every single time I would get something, all of a sudden it would be taken from me because of him and his PR people. Are y'all sure y'all want to work with her? She's really dramatic. As many times as I tried to move on, he would contact whoever I was dating. If I need to get Dwayne to release a statement about what he went through and the threats that he received when he was with me, I could do that. Because he was threatened that if he was with me, that bad things would happen. When I moved on, when I was dating Brian, y'all remember him from the show?
I don't.
Brian was there when a lot of shit was happening as well. Brian and I are still cool. Desmond was really there when a lot of shit was happening because Desmond was going to be the one, right? You know what he did? He started contacting all these different associates of his. Desmond was playing for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Then he got traded. I'm trying to tell y'all that people who are in these higher positions, they will throw the rock and hide their hand. So again, like I said, I had to stop myself because I got to keep telling my story, and I got to tell it in order because I know there's a lot of questions. But when I tell y'all today, there's going to be a PR stunt. And maybe not anymore because I'm saying something, but there's going to be videos of a birthday party of a daughter he hardly ever sees, and the other one that was forced to go back. Huge birthday party. But you want to know who has never gotten a birthday present? Our son.
Wow.
You want to know who has only gotten a Christmas gift 3 times out of 17 years? Our son. Why? Because I didn't coddle. Because I didn't do the bending. Because I didn't do a lot of things that he was asking me to do. Because I knew it was wrong. This has nothing to do about the new person he's with. This has everything to do with me and my child and what he is still doing behind the scenes. He's still making...
The fact that her son is 17 and she's posting this, I mean, no matter what age, but especially him being 17 and you're revealing that he was molested, like, that's very personal. I don't know if I would have revealed that if I was her. I mean, I can't speak on her situation exactly, but yeah, I just think that's just embarrassing, and that's just a lot to reveal about someone. Like, does he want this information out? I would argue and bet that he doesn't want people to know this about him, that he was molested for 5 years. Like, that's just something that I feel like she could have left out of the story. Like, you could have painted this picture that things were taking place with your son that you didn't want to take place, but yeah, I don't know about that part. Just for her son's sake, obviously, and his own privacy.
Making phone calls. He still has blogs like The Shade Room under his wing. Okay? They only post negative things about me, if you've noticed, or the captions are always very, like, one-sided. This is the last thing that I can possibly do to get him to leave me the alone. Leave us alone. You don't pay a dime in child support. Leave us alone. Stop calling our son and trying to get him to feel like he's such a terrible ass person because he don't want to have shit to do with you. I have been blackballed from a lot of the mainstream industry because of this person. And y'all want me to shut up? Y'all want me to be quiet?
No, she definitely should speak up and speak her truth, especially if it's this bad. But yeah, this is a lot.
I have been suicidal. I have been in positions where I just wanted to get up and just leave. And then I look at that face in there, and even though he's 17, I still see myself, and I still see innocence. I still see regret. I still see misunderstanding. I see healing as well. This is something that now he has to deal with for the rest of his fucking life because people want to get on this internet and call him all types of names for a mistake that he made after a conversation his father had with him. When your own father...
Oh, okay. I'm glad she brought that up. Yes, never mind. She should bring up what happened with him because they're saying that the story was already out that he touched someone else. So I didn't know about that. I've never heard about that story. Or if I did hear about it, I don't recall. So never mind. I take back what I said. Because then that just kind of sheds light on, obviously it's not an excuse, but it sheds light on, you know, what he went through as a child. And usually when children experience that, they do that to other children as well. Because they do in their head think that it's normal. Like, oh, this was done to me. And then they do it to other children. So, yeah, she should have brought that up.
Gay at 11 years old because you haven't touched anything or done anything? That's crazy.
But he was calling him gay?
With him. When your own father calls you gay at 11 years old because you haven't touched anything or done anything, that's crazy.
11. He was
When
projecting.
your father is sitting here telling you, well, it doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman because a man's G-spot is in his ass. Why are you telling a freaking 12-year-old this?
Oh
This is a conversation that was had during quarantine. He was having this conversation with our son, along with two of his friends, and they were talking about heterosexual relationships, homosexual relationships, threesomes, where their G-spot was. And this is a bunch of dudes, y'all, talking to a 12-year-old. So, before I put out part 4, this is why I'm doing it. Because I'm terrified of this person.
Damn,
And I know he has blogs under his wing, on payroll, to make it seem like I'm fucking crazy. And like we're just out for his money or that we're jealous. No, we're not. I don't know when my last day is. I don't know if I'm going to be run off the road. I don't know if somebody going to knock at my door and like arrest me for whatever reason. I don't know. But this is my story. This is how I escaped. I'm scared. And I'm lost. I have nothing else that he can take from me besides my life.
Damn.
This story is too much, y'all. It is way too much. I'm just at loss for words, honestly. Even though all this is alleged, I don't think Royce is lying, unfortunately. I just don't. It's just messy, y'all. But anyway, tell what y'all think about.
Obviously, I don't know this woman. I don't know the situation, but it does sound like she was being truthful. This is a horrible, horrible story. Like, geez, this is a lot. But he's been associated with a lot of sketchy acts, so I would not put this past him at all. So that's why I'm saying I believe her. And she went into so much detail, and I've never heard her speak out about this in the past. So the fact that she's finally, talking about it, it just makes it seem like this has all been like building up, and she just had to get it out. And she feels like this is her last resort because she feels like her life is being threatened. Something could happen to her. So yeah, this is scary. I hope it works out, and I hope that, she can break free from, this hold that he has on her. Because she said that he's even affecting her career. Like anything that she tries to get involved with, like him and his people are trying to sabotage it. This just sounds terrible, but I don't know, y'all. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Let me know what other videos you want to watch, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.